This ordinance has to do with tourism and their ability to collect taxes on hotels. And we just changed a little bit of verbiage, and the main thing that we worked on was that payments usually come in quarterly from all the hotels, and we wanna change that to monthly. So be due 30 days after every single month, their taxes will be due for all their stays. And that way that we can audit and keep track of everyone a little easier, because it's hard to keep track of quarterly payments on who was on top and what may or may not have been true. So this makes it a little easier for the Tourism Commission.
We're gonna have Rebecca speak to this too, if there's any questions, and I have one for her as well, once she gets up there. But I'll yield to everybody else first.
Okay, I'll put my other hat on.
Okay.
Also the tourism director for Marshall. So, what are your questions first? Because there's kind of a lot that I could go over.
Well, enforcement. We've kind of been a little lax on that, and I think, is it the Tourism Commission's plan to try to enforce this a little more, up to and including closing them down if they don't pay?
Yes, that's correct. So we, as a tourism commission, we have that responsibility and right to audit all the tax records for the hotels. And as it sits right now, unfortunately, it's based on the honor system. And I can tell you right now, it's not working at all. So the reports are due quarterly. We'll be lucky if the hotels will submit quarterly, maybe every 6 months. And then if they do, they can write whatever number they want on there. And there's no way to verify, no way to track at all. And that is not okay. This is taxpayer funded. So the lodging tax is something that was voted on in 2004. And there's 6 figures coming in every year. That has to be tracked. So what I have proposed is to change from the quarterly schedule to monthly, so that if somebody does not report, we can catch it right away versus 6 months down the road or whatever, and then having to go backtrack and see who paid what, and then it's just a disaster. So, and then with that too, I'm huge on checklists, and so I've created a process where we will have it's a non-payment operations checklist. So we'll have a step-by-step guide on what to do if somebody does not pay, or if they have any questions on how to fill out these new reports. It's very detailed and straight to the point. So does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay,
Rebecca, then,
yes.
just a question, because I have no idea how this works, but does the Tourism Commission then have to, you said it was the honor system, I mean, do you all have to then cross-check that with what they submit, like for state taxes or something, to make sure they're giving you the same numbers they are to the state and such?
We don't, but that's something that we can audit, and we should. But so the way that it works is let's say a hotel owner in town goes and reports whatever lodging tax they collected. They send it to the county collector's office. They collect it. They don't really have to go and check anything, because that's not their job. Their job is to collect the funds. And then after that, it goes to the state, which do they send it to the city, and then it sits in a fund? Is that what I understand? So I don't think that really answered your question, but.
Well, I guess, I mean, is there still gonna be an honor system involved? You said they can just write whatever number they want. Well,
Yeah.
instead of doing that 4 times a year, can they just write whatever number they want 12 times a year? Or is there gonna be extra checks on that?
Well, the purpose of changing it to monthly is that we can make sure that's not happening. And so these new reports, so the old report they've been using had like a couple of lines. It looked like something that was created in Windows 94, or 95. It's pretty old and outdated. So these new forms that I created, it's very to the point, and it follows like state tax regulations and everything. And so it'll be very easy and transparent. When I say it's an honor system, I kind of say that tongue in cheek, because it's not supposed to be an honor system. You're collecting a tax. But there's been no guidelines or checklist to go by. And Marshall is a small community, and tourism is up and coming. What do we have? We have Nicholas Beasley, which is awesome. Jim the Wonder Dog. We have some of the state parks and everything. But so with that being said, it's been really hard to bring attention to this and track.
So, I mean, surely, I mean, the state of Missouri is not gonna take lackadaisical, I'm not saying you're taking a lackadaisical attitude toward it at all, sorry. I should have spoken differently, but, I mean, they're not gonna be able to use the honor system with the state. Would it be easier for you all just to look at what they submit to the state, their revenues? And I don't know how often they
Yes,
have to
so,
do that.
I mean, that'll be part of the audit process.
Oh,
is
okay,
that-
so you're gonna be able to audit that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
So I didn't really know how to answer that question because we haven't done it yet. It's part of our responsibility. We just haven't been able to do it because there's been no guidelines at all. And then if we did go try to enforce and without saying, I don't want to say too much, but you know, let's say there is a hotel in the community that is not paying or whatever, or has been late on their reports, then there's really no way for us to go in and like check their books and check the state records because there's been no process.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to change, is just make it a little bit easier.
Does this apply to Airbnb owners as well?
It does not. That is something that I'm looking into. So I've been talking with Airbnb, and there is a process where we can set that up, but we need to look into it a little bit more as a city and make sure that we are following all the guidelines. That's something that I'll be working with our city attorney on and just doing some more research. So for right now, this only pertains to hotels. And the definition of a hotel currently is 5 rooms or more, and some of the language that we're changing is changing it down to 1 room or more. So we only have like 5 hotels in Marshall. So that's what we're gonna be monitoring for now. Airbnb is something I do wanna add. There are cities around the state that do it, all over the country that do it. It'll be an easy process, and let's say it does get passed, a future ordinance where we can include Airbnbs. All that Airbnb needs is a signed ordinance from you guys sent to them, and then they will automatically go into their system and put that in. So it'll be automatically collected, and Airbnb owners in Marshall are not gonna have to go in and figure it out. It'll be automatically listed on there.
Are the hotel owners, have you I mean, you said there's only like 5, are they aware of the change that's potentially coming?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, no, because we've been trying to nail this down. This has been a process that's been going since like April of last year. And it's just a long process, you know, changing ordinances and researching and talking to people and getting support for it. So now that this is potentially gonna get passed, hopefully, today, I will be letting everybody know about this, and I'll be meeting with the county collector. She's aware of what's going on, and the schedule will start in April for this new process.
How much money would you estimate you're losing?
I don't know. I don't have a really good answer for that. Hopefully nothing, right? I mean, if everybody's reporting honestly and everything's being turned in on time, but we have no way to check that until now. And so
But
I
you do
don't
think you're losing
know.
some, or,
there's a really good chance.
and so how many people do you have? How many of you are there?
On the commission, or,
Well, to be able to do these audits and to enforce this, basically.
well, the Marshall Tourism Commission has a minimum of 5 board members. And then I am the only paid employee. I'm a contractor, so I'm not, employee, I guess. And it's my job as the tourism director to audit as well as the commission. So I kind of lead the initiative on that, and then the commission gets together and we talk about it at our board meetings and everything. So at a minimum, 6 people, at a minimum, plus the county, and then like the city office maintains the fund for tourism. But as far as like the records and reports, that's something that I will be responsible for doing, as well as the commission. And the purpose of the lodging tax, just so everybody's clear on what that is, it funds promoting tourism, but the most important thing that it does is we provide a tourism grant to entrepreneurs, organizations, businesses, anybody that is willing to start some type of tourism-related business or activity or event, and we give money back. So we're collecting the taxes from people who are visiting Marshall. We collect that, but we give it back to the community. And this year, I'm really excited that we have the biggest budget to date to give for grants. We had some money from last year that we were able to roll over. And so we have a really big budget. We're just anticipating a lot of applications coming up. And the point of that is to build what we have and make it better. and attract people to Marshall. Because tourism, there's so many different hands with the city, right? You've got tourism, you have economic development, you have Main Street, you have city council. I mean, there's all these fingers on the same hand, but we all work together. If that makes sense. Does that answer your question? Basically, okay.
I just really hope that there's some way that you can work with the state to audit, and I think there probably has to be. I mean, these taxes are everywhere in big cities, small, and there's gotta be a way to work with the state to make sure that they're not, cooking the books on the thing.
Yeah, well, I have no doubt the state is doing it correctly, all of that.
Right.
And I'm not saying the hotel owners are not, but we need to have a process just to keep the
100%.
honest people honest and make sure
agree.
that we're accounting for our taxes properly.
Totally agree, yeah.
Any other questions? Have we read that yet, Julie?
We did.
Thank you. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the first reading?
So moved.
Second, Allen?
Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes?
Cook,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Guthrie,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, final is the appropriation. Can I have a clerk give first reading by title only, please?
An ordinance making the appropriation for the payment of accounts out of the different city funds.
Can I have a motion and a second to take this to a second reading?
Make a motion to go to a second reading, Green?
Second, Patrick.
Roll call, please.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes?
Cook,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Yes.
Paprick, Guthrie,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Could the clerk give this second reading by title only, please?
An ordinance making the appropriation for the payment of accounts out of the different city funds.
Could I have a motion and a second to approve the second reading?
So move, Your Honor. Guthrie?
Second, Thompson.
Roll call, please.
Brandt,
Yes?
Cook,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Guthrie,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher.
Yes.
Everything passes. Can I have any other council business from any council members before we go into closed session? Once again, thanks, Randy. Good job. I think you probably got all the residential streets done as best you can for now. And there's something I didn't know, that you normally don't do the residential streets unless there's 4 inches of snow or more. So you've done more than that, because lately there hasn't been 4 inches, but you went ahead and did them anyway, so we appreciate that. Still no real complaints, so that was a really nice situation in a bad situation. So good results. Thank everybody. And I've had several calls. I can't remember everybody, but we've had individuals call and ask me to thank you personally, so I am on their behalf. Thank you. Any other council business? If not, then Nathan's got something to read.
I move to enter into executive session concerning leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate by a public governmental body, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promotion of a particular employee by a governmental body.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Cook,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Guthrie,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt.
Yes.